Welcome to everyone watching, and thank you so much for joining us for one more episode of Crónica Testimonial. Today's guest is Christie Samosir. She's been deployed with the IFRC over a week ago in the West Sulawesi area in Indonesia because of the earthquake that recently happened. And she's going to talk to us about the situation on the ground and what IFRC staff are doing to join local and governmental efforts over there. So Christie, my first question is just to tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your role specifically and how long you've been working with IFRC.
Okay, thanks, Diana. I'm the operations coordinator covering Asia Pacific, based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I was being deployed a week ago here to support this earthquake operation in West Sulawesi, mainly to set up the operation and then make sure that we are filling the gaps on the needs on the ground and make sure that our interventions are relevant to the needs.
I see. So what are some of the things that the IFRC staff are doing right now on the ground, and what was the situation when you first arrived?
Oh, yeah. So the first earthquake happened in the 14th, it's 5.9, and then the second one the next day, even higher magnitude, 6.2. And the thing is, these earthquakes happen in the mainland, and that's why it caused quite a significant destruction to the infrastructures, housing, and all. And then a lot more aftershocks happen even until now. That this also couple of aftershocks happening almost every day make people traumatized and not sure. There is uncertainty of the future, and then especially in the coastal area, so they just move and got displaced to the higher places. And some of them had returned because of all these aftershocks keep coming. Then they went back to these displacement sites. And with this COVID-19 situation, it's quite risky actually. So up to date, the data that we received, that more than 15,000 houses are damaged, and especially the main hospital is heavily damaged. The infrastructure cannot be used. And the COVID-19 patients are now being isolated in tents with limited facilities. And then they have to use communal or public latrines. So it's, and it's not ideal situation actually. And there's a significant number of pregnant women, lactating mothers, people with disability, and children being displaced, like thousands of them. So that's also one of the biggest concern. Plus, the COVID-19 cases also keep raising, like the statistics recently shows that out of all the samples taken daily, at least 50% shows positive result. So like even the last few days, it's up to 60 to 70% positive result out of all the samples. And the community has less awareness on this COVID-19. I mean, like, because these rural areas and they have different perceptions and culture, So this displacement, high movement of the people, even expose them to the risk even more. So yeah, it's quite challenging here, let alone all the psychological impact, that they lose their houses, they some of them they lose their family members, and then many of them are being separated because few of the family members have to be isolated due to COVID, So and then they lose their livelihoods. So yeah, it's very complex situation.
You know, one would think, at least from a Western perspective, that those areas, you know, it's very common over there for earthquakes to happen and natural disasters. And so would you say that the authorities are more or less prepared to act or respond to these situations?
No, actually, see, the thing is because Indonesia is like huge area geographically. We have 34 provinces, and the government, we up to date, if I'm not mistaken, more than 2,000 villages have been supported for disaster risk reduction or resilience capacity building. You know, especially on this how to face future disaster and also how to build your house safer. But then I don't think that this is this happens quite often here in West Sulawesi. So yeah, so it's and plus the COVID-19 situation actually complicates the whole thing. You know, that's why things seems slow down, because we need to make sure that all the COVID safe operation, the system are being in place, because before people get ready to recover. So yeah, I think if it's not COVID-19 context, then the recovery should be even faster.
I understand. So would you tell us a little bit about your own experience and maybe how this earthquake or this situation is different from others in the past that you have been a part of?
Well, yeah, I think the biggest difference is the COVID-19 situation, because usually, you know, our government has all the program for to prepare for this disaster, but then we didn't include this COVID-19 component, you know, so mobilizing people, personnel, equipment, including the laboratory, you know, because COVID-19 capacity in this province are relatively low, I may say. Then to ensure that we do no harm to people and make sure that everyone who enters or who wants to support or to deliver the aids to this place have to follow all this screening. So this makes things somehow run slower, if I may say. But as it's not, it's pretty much like what we have been doing, and this is actually small to medium scale disaster. We classify it as a provincial level disaster. So yeah, we use our local resources for this.
I understand. So what are some international organizations that are also helping in the efforts, or are there any?
Yeah, so the international organizations support usually through their local partners. So like us, the Federation, we work together with our host national society, which is Indonesian Red Cross, who is the auxiliary role to the government. So yeah, so it's PMI is leading the operation here, and Federation, International Federation, is supporting financially and also technically.
I understand. So what would you say are some urgent needs on the ground right now?
Right now, the main needs, apart from housing assistance for sure, it's a safe water provision, because some of the community water system destroyed, damaged, and then especially the needs, the needs for safe and clean water and in the displacement sites, and also the health services, because quite a significant number of health practitioners, the doctors and nurses here locally, are contracted by the virus. So yeah, so they cannot run the work as usual. Then health services are actually the main gap right now. So the government and also all the organization focusing on these medical sectors, trying to mobilize the health practitioners from other provinces. And yeah, so that's the main need also. And then the livelihood restoration. I mean, like, you know that COVID-19 has affected livelihoods of the people prior to the shocks, not only here, like everywhere, right? And with the current situation of the earthquake, people has to be displaced, the markets are closed, the situation is deteriorating because income generation shuts down. So yeah, I think livelihood restoration and also psychosocial support, those who are in trauma and those with special needs, and also another gap, I think, on the provision of personal protective equipment. So it's not only for the humanitarian workers or the health practitioners, but also to the community, to the beneficiaries, because as I told you that they're moving from one displacement site to another, you know, because they're looking for support, they're looking for aid. So this high mobilization of people without changing of mask regularly or not even using mask because of the inexistence of mask in their household,
Wow.
It's quite risky.
Wow. Okay, so one last question would be, how can our audience help those affected? What are some ways that we could maybe donate?
Sorry, Diana.
What are some ways that Western audiences or anyone who's watching or hearing us could help?
Diana, hello?
Can you hear me? Hi? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking.
I'm not really sure why. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry, my question was just to finish here, but I wanted to know what are some ways that our audience or anyone who's watching or hearing us could help or maybe donate for those affected, if you know of any website, any link, or anything.
Oh, yeah, it would be great. It would be very much appreciated and helpful for the affected people here. Any donation, especially financial donation, because it will be more flexible for the people here to choose what is actually suited to their current needs. I would suggest to go to www.pmi.or.id. It's a PMI website. PMI is Palang Merah Indonesia, Indonesian Red Cross.
Okay, thank you so much, Christie. I'm not going to steal. Thank you so much.
Yeah, or we can actually go to www.ifrc.org. So you can share you want to go through the IFRC or you want to go through the direct to Indonesian Red Cross.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm not going to steal more of your time, but thank you for your work. Thank you for everything that you were doing. And I really hope that the situation improves. And just thank you
Yeah,
for your
I
heart
hope
for people.
I hope so. No worries. Thanks a lot, Diana. You stay safe there.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.